Today is March 5th, 2025. We're here with David Wolf Emanuel. Hi, David. Welcome. Thank you for participating in our oral history project. Tell me a little bit about your family's history with Great Neck and your connection to Great Neck now.
Well, thank you very much for having me. Well, I am the great-grandson of the first Jew in Great Neck, whose name was Avram Wolf. And the way they got to Great Neck, that's what people ask me all the time. They say, how did you come out to Great Neck? So the story is, it's not a story, it's been verified, that Avraham Wolf's son, I.G. Wolf, was in a baby carriage. I don't know the exact age, but we know it's got to be young because he's in a baby carriage. And they were in New York City, and somehow the baby carriage got away from him, and it got hit by a trolley, and he lost his leg from the knee down. So he was in the hospital, and just by circumstance, Grace, the mayor of New York City, I believe that's J.P. Grace, he was also in the hospital. And J.P. Grace was a very amicable man, and he would walk around and visit the people when he was there, and he saw this baby that lost his leg. I'm not sure, but no, it's not. I was thinking someplace that maybe Grace lost a leg, but I don't think so. But anyway, they met in the hospital, and then they met his father, Abram Wolf, the first Jew in Great Neck, and they befriended each other. And he found out that Abram was a tailor, and he needed a tailor. So then he became the tailor to the mayor of New York City. Then one day, the mayor said to him, they had 5 boys in that family. He said, the city's kind of dangerous. I have a summer house out in the wilds, this place called Great Neck, Long Island. And I believe I heard once that one of the reasons Great Neck developed, that it was one day's horse and buggy ride from New York City. So he said, why don't you come out here? And I've already hired I have a house, and I've already hired a caretaker, and I hired somebody else, maybe a chauffeur or somebody, and I could use a tailor. And I have a lot of like rich friends out here, and they could use a tailor. So he came out, he put him up in a house, which is still there. It's on the corner of, it's like one house north of Arundel and Bayview Avenue. And you guys probably know it if you're from Great Neck. It looks like a gingerbread house. That's the house, and that's where they live for free. Then one day, they had to start charging rent, and my great-grandfather balked at it, something ridiculous like, $60 a month or something, and he reluctantly paid it. Then they raised it again, and he was reluctant about it. Then they offered to sell it to him for some crazy number, like, I don't know, maybe $17,000 or something, some crazy number. And he said, no, that's it. And he left. And then he sold that house for like 3 times more than what my great-grandfather was offered it for. And I understand that's when he decided to go into real estate. And he also, before that, he opened up a tailor shop in the old village. And that tailor shop is pictured in this book, The Ultimate Book of Great Neck, along with his picture, my grandmother's picture, the first Torah that he gave in my great-grandmother's memory to Temple Bethel, and there's other good pictures in this book, which I highly recommend. And my sister Linda helped with this book. So that's the story, how the Wolf family got to Great Neck. And my middle name, I was named after my mother, Rita Wolf, who had a sister, by the way, Ethel Wolf, and that's my middle name, Wolf. Oh, by the way, I should mention my mother had a sister, Ethel Larrick, who lived in Saddle Rock, who is no longer with us either. So that's that. And oh, my parents are actually very active in Temple Israel at Great Neck. Oh yeah, I should also mention that I.G. Wolf, my grandfather, who lost his leg from the knee down, that he assembled the property for both Temple Israel and also for Temple Bethel. And by the way, I heard he gave up his commission and he assembled both of those properties, and he became the second president of Temple Bethel. And we were active in Temple Israel, the Emanuel family, because my father was Orthodox Jew, my mother, who grew up in Great Neck, was Reformed, so the compromise was Temple Israel and Great Neck. And my father said, when he was honored there, that his proudest moment there was that he was on the committee that helped elect Rabbi Mordechai Waxman. So that's that. Now, things that just I remember in Great Neck growing up, some interesting things, I think, is that I remember going to Lakeville Stables, which was now where the Hebrew Academy is on the service road of the Expressway. I would go to Lakeville Stables, and I would go on trail rides. I remember, I believe the guy that used to take me mostly was Huey, and he had a brother. And then we would ride for maybe 15 minutes in the woods. Then we would go to Community Drive, and here's the best part. We would cross on horseback Community Drive, and then we would start riding on the other side, and then after about 10 or 15 minutes, we would be at the Whitney Polo Field, which is now the site of North Shore Hospital. That same area, I used to play hockey on the Whitney Pond there, and I also used to play hockey next door to where I'm sitting right now at the Great Neck Library. Some other things that I remember growing up in Great Neck, which might be of interest to you, was going to the farm in Kings Point on, I guess it's Kings Point Road, and there was a box that we would go to a room, and there was a box there, and they had unhomogenized milk there, and it would say put, I don't remember the amount, it was something like 25 or 50 cents in the box and take the milk. It was on the honor system. So that was pretty cool. However, my friend Bob Lincoln told me, the past park commissioner, that he has a few years on my, he said he remembers his father stopping the car so the cows could cross over the road to go back to the barn, and as you Great Neck people know, the road across from the barn is Cow Lane, so that makes a lot of sense. Some other great memories were the pony rides that were under the railroad bridge on Bayview Avenue off of Watermill Lane, and those were Shetland ponies. And Bob was telling me about that place too, he remembered it. And somebody on the Great Neck Childhood website says, they actually had a picture, I think, and they said they remember it was 25 cents for one time around the trail there, whatever it was called. Maybe it was a corral. Now, another great place in town was John's Trading Post, which was, well, it used to be Nassau McGowan. Now it's something Locksmith. And Rain Dew is around there, and the deli is around there. Before that parking lot was there, there was a big building there, and John's Trading Post was there that had everything imaginable, a lot of ice skates. I guess because kids would outgrow their ice skates, and then they would sell them. There was tons of ice skates there. It was a great place. Again, on Great Neck Childhood website on Facebook, everybody talks about that place. slot car racing was another thing I did at Ken's Hobby Town, which was on Brokaw Lane and Middle Neck Road. Ken's Hobby Town was upstairs. Downstairs was a slot car racing track, and in the basement. And many nights there, late into the night, we had a great time. About the last memory that I could think of that you guys might be interested in is I remember in the Memorial Day parades, me playing my saxophone and also playing saxophone in the stands during the football games. It was then Great Neck North, now it's middle school, Great Neck North Middle School. So just those are some of the things I remember, and I hope it was of interest to you.
David, tell me what, you've been here how long now in Great Neck?
Well, I was out for a total, like 6 different times of 10 years, so that means about 66 years.
Oh, wow. Any favorite restaurants or, favorite meals that you had in Great Neck growing up?
Well, the best one, I guess, would have been Squire's, which everybody brings out. Another one would be Frederick's, which is now the Great Neck Diner. Another iconic restaurant that I didn't go to so much, but that would be Millie's Place. And then, oh yeah, I can't forget Kriegel's, the homemade ice cream and chocolate place. That was really great. 4 and 20 Pies was around. Steer Barn was around. But by far, I would say Squire's is the one everybody remembers.
And where did you graduate from high school?
Great Neck North.
What year?
1966.
And tell me about, you said you have sisters who
Yes,
also...
I have a sister, Paula, who's, I guess she doesn't mind if I give her age, but she's 6 years older than me. Her married name is Reuben, and she's now a widower. And then there's Trudy Emanuel Grindblatt, who lives in Forest Hills. Paula now lives in East Meadow. She just came back 2 years ago from Florida after her husband passed. And then Linda Emanuel, who lives in Great Neck, she's 9 years younger than me.
Very good. And what were your parents' names?
Rita and Lou Emanuel, active members in Temple, Israel. Dad had a building supply business in Floral Park for something like 35 years. Also had some commercial real estate.
Where was that business in New Hyde Park?
Floral Park.
Oh, Floral Park.
It was on Tyson Avenue, and then Eminent Domain took most of it. When they put the elevated railroad tracks, it was near what used to be I forgot the name right now. It was a German restaurant. What?
Koenig's?
Yes, used to be Koenig's. And I still go to the Tulip Bake Shop and pick up Koenig's rye bread, which was made especially for Koenig's. And then there were a portion of that property was left. There was a small portion, and we sold it to Victor Koenig for his parking lot. And now it's not Koenig's anymore, it's something else, I forgot what it's called.
The Harrison.
The Harrison.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, and then when they took that, he moved to 406 Jericho Turnpike, which me and my siblings inherited, and we sold that about something like 14 years ago, something like that. We sold that.
So tell me, what are you doing now? What are you working on now?
Well, I'm very happy to say that I am the founder and owner of Emanuel Entertainment Services, aka ES Entertainment Agency, and I would think that we're the fastest growing agency on Long Island. I do mostly Nassau, Suffolk County. I do a little bit in Queens. I do any place where they call me. I got a call from Westchester County Parks the other day, and I've done shows at Left Rock Center at Queens College, but I solicit mostly Nassau, Suffolk. I've done parties out in the Hamptons, uh, and I'm not affiliated with any particular band. I'm kind of like a freelance booking agent, and just about anybody that you would want, I could get you from a solo act to a national or international act.
Tell us about the June show that you have booked here at the library.
Yeah, June show is going to be very exciting for you people. We have Jimmy Roberts here, who grew up in Great Neck and in Kings Point. And Jimmy, I would say his biggest credit is he wrote the music for I Love You, You're Perfect, Now Change. That's an off-Broadway play. It's the second longest off-Broadway play in the history of off-Broadway. The show's been played in all 50 states and over 25 countries. Jimmy did a show last year in Oslo, Sweden at the University of Oslo. And he just finished a 6-week run on his 5th play called Welcome to the Big Dipper. Jimmy plays piano, probably the best pianist they have, classically trained, Manhattan School of Music, maybe Juilliard too. He sings, he plays. We do a Gershwin show. We also do this one is interesting. Jimmy Roberts plays and sings Beatles, Broadway, and Beethoven. And then we also just do a show that's Great American Songbook. And then we could do a hybrid show, whatever you want. All you have to do is come up with the money and we're there.
Sounds good. Any final thoughts about Great Neck?
Yeah, it's a great place. It's a great place. I've seen big changes. I was here before the Iranians, before the Asians, and I'm still here. Maybe I'm going to die here, I don't know. And great parks, great education, great library, how could we forget that? Nice people, and I'm still here, I like it.
Very good. Thanks for helping us out today, David.
My pleasure.
All right.